That's that. Got the screwdriver in there, rocked it a little bit. Alright guys, I was helping someone out with their car and they were having a problem with the brakes dragging. The front brakes were dragging, it would heat up and it'd get to the point where they could hardly even drive the car. They were dragging so bad they get hot on the front. And I told them, well, go ahead and change the caliper. You know, maybe one of your calipers is bad. It was on one wheel, it was like the passenger front wheel was dragging bad. So I told him, you know, go ahead and change that caliper out. He did and bled it, didn't make a difference. Still started heating up. So I said, okay, well maybe it's the line, because it's an older car. I think it's a 92, 96, something like that. Still, same problem. So I was like, okay, I've never seen this before, but maybe it's the master cylinder. You know, spring broke inside the master cylinder or something. I think the problem was, check this out. You know, I can just take my finger. I don't know if you've ever changed a master cylinder, but normally you cannot push that with your finger. That spring is so stiff in there, you'll have to take a screwdriver or something and jam it in there. But this in here, look at that. I can take my finger, push it. So we're going to take this apart. Turned out that fixed it. What I think what's happened is the weight when they hit a bump, or just the weight of the brake pedal, was actually pushing a little bit in on these brakes and releasing some of that hydraulic fluid to the front brakes and dragging them. Just because I think it's, you know, it's got a spring in there, but I don't know. See, he bought the car like that, and maybe when they rebuilt this, they put the wrong spring in it, because it doesn't look terrible old. I mean, it's a little rusted, but these things are not painted, and they generally are like that. And I noticed on his vacuum brake booster where this connects up, there was a drip. So this one wasn't dripping, so I'm thinking they changed it out and they got a bad one. Like when they rebuilt it, they put the wrong spring in there. It wasn't heavy enough, and it's, you know, just the weight of the brake pedal or going over bumps was activating the brakes like that, just a little bit, enough to drag just a tiny bit and heat them up. So we're going to take this apart and see what's inside there, see if there's a broken spring or what's going on. Okay, so taking this thing apart, I took a punch. See, there's a pin. I'm going to take this reservoir off, and I punched those pins. So let's see, this should come off of here. It may take a little bit of force. I might have to get a screwdriver and pry that off of there. I've never rebuilt one of these. I'm thinking you take this, I didn't see any clip in here. Sometimes they have a clip in there. So I'm thinking this is what holds the piston in. And that thing may go flying out of there. That piston may go springing out of there. I don't see any other way to get that out. I've never rebuilt them. I just go and buy a rebuilt one if I need one. Let's see here what happens. Okay, that screws out. Huh. So I'll ring in there. Not exactly certain how these come apart. Let's get this seal out. Alright. There's a little slotted washer, kind of like a spring washer. Probably keeps tension on that seal. There's some kind of pin here. There. Let's see about this one here. get that seal out of her. Okay. One of these for your front brakes and one for your back brakes. I'll see if I can get that, maybe that pin there, right there, that maybe holds it in. See if that pin comes out of her. There it goes. See that pin coming out? Let's see. I'm gonna put this back in the vise. The pin's coming up. I think that may be what holds it together. Yep, I would say that pin right there probably what holds that piston in there. Okay, here we go. I think it's going to come apart now. That little bolt that was here, I took off. There's another pin, so pull this out of here. This piston may spring out the end. I'll do this. Let's see what happens here. Try to do it one-handed, but I'll get it done. Okay, got that pin out. So okay, to get it out the rest of the way, I just got the screwdriver in and rocked it a little bit. That seal is super tight. It seems like it's a pretty new master cylinder. Let's see if there's anything else in there. I'll take this out of the vise. See if anything else falls out. Yep, there's another piece there. Okay. See if we can pull that out now. Okay, so I got everything out of there. That is empty. Looks nice and shiny. Clean in there. It's not rusted or anything. So, here's what's inside your master cylinder. If you ever decide to rebuild it, basically you're replacing these rubber seals here. Rubber seal here. Probably rubber seals up here. And that's it. It may give you springs with it too. This spring, well, that spring is nothing. I'm thinking someone had rebuilt this. Probably a factory that rebuilds them. And they probably put the wrong spring in because this is super weak. I mean, you could probably push. I mean, I pushed on it with my thumb, and I've never seen a master cylinder where I could just push on my thumb on that piston, unless it was a broken spring in there. So there's what's inside there, and I believe I had two of these pins, and I believe these pins probably go when they knock them in. They probably go through them slots because I don't see any other holes that they would go into. So there's a slot in there. Alright, so that's it, guys. I'd say it's just a defective master cylinder. It was allowing the brake pedal to, just the weight of the brake pedal was pushing in just slightly on this piston, enough that was allowing fluid past onto the front brake. So front brakes only. So maybe when you push on your brake pedal, it starts with the front brakes first. I'm not sure, but just the front brakes were dragging on that car, and mainly the passenger front. But that's it, guys. Here's what's inside a master cylinder. If you want to take one apart to rebuild it, it's a real pain in the ass. I mean, maybe on a wore out one, it would come out easier. And I believe the way this works is the fluid is in this chamber here, inside there, between these seals. See how that seal's got a lip? It's got a lip, and then when you push on the brake pedal, it squeezes that together and pushes the brake fluid out. And the same back here, but back here, that's probably your back brake. This one, once this starts to squeeze down, it's squeezed down all the way, it starts to push the whole assembly in, and then this pushes up against the back wall, and it starts to come out that hole there. It'll push this down, compress the fluid back here. So that's how your master cylinder works.